Step one is getting my tree out of the tree bag. I prefer using a bag over the original box that it came in because my tree is flocked, and I have found that if you're trying to squish a tree back into a little box, you're gonna lose a lot more flocking than if you put it into an oversized bag. So I'm gonna get the tree out, I'm gonna put it up, I'm gonna kind of fluff the branches out, and then we're gonna start decorating. Now that the tree is out of the box, I'm going to start from the bottom and fluff it out kind of section by section. Fluffing it out just means you're going to take the branches, slightly turn them in an upwards direction, which is the way a natural real tree would look. So you're just going to pull apart the sections. And like I said, slightly point them upward. Everything is fluffed. You can see it looks a little bit better than it did when I pulled it out of the bag. So now it's time to decorate. If you've seen my tree before, then you know that I use a variety of mesh and also ribbon in different colors and, well, patterns and textures. So if you're gonna use ribbon or mesh, it's important to do that before you move on to your ornaments, because this is kind of going to just be your tree filler, and then the ornaments are like the decorations on top. In the years past, I just kind of took a roll of mesh. This is already cut into a strip, but this is what it would have looked like on a roll. This is just a little bit narrower mesh. But in the years past, I would kind of bunch it, take a bunch it here, and then kind of go up, but it was all connected. And I wasn't able to get the look I wanted and add in, like I said, the different ribbons. So last year, I took my roll of hot pink mesh and I cut it into strips. This one's about 28 inches long, but then I've also got some shorter ones that are maybe, let's see, I think this one's like 24 inches long, so not an exact math, but basically you need it long enough to grab one end, grab the other end, and see how it kind of makes a poof like that. So depending on what size poof you want, that's gonna determine how long your strips need to be. So like I said, this one was about 28 inches. Just grab one end, grab the other, kind of poof, and then you're gonna place it on the tree. The ends need to be covered up. And there you go. Oh, you can't really see that. There's your first poof. And you still want to go sort of in an upwards spiraling motion. It's just gonna look better versus just kind of hodgepodge here and there. It's still gonna lead the eye up to the top of the tree. So you're just gonna take strip by strip, grab the end, and then so say I wanted to place this one here. So it's almost like they're still connected, but they're not. So it's gonna leave a space in between, which is where I go back in and place the variety of ribbons and bows that I have in between the mesh. Okay, the mesh is done, and I will say that that went a lot quicker than when I used to just wrap it all the way around. The biggest time consuming part is going to be the first year when you cut them into strips. That's going to take some time, but then after that it's going to go quicker the next year. So I told myself that last year when I was tired of cutting strips, that everything was going to be done for me this year, and all I had to do was pick them up, place them on the tree. So after the mesh is done, oh, and I also went ahead and put my topper on, just because that's going to give you an idea of how far up you need to go with your mesh, especially if you have the sprigs coming out like I do. They come down a little bit, so I don't need to go all the way up to the very tip top with the mesh. So depending on if you're using a star angel, whatever it is, your bow, whatever it is you're using, I like to do that fairly close to the beginning of the process, so I know how far up I can go with my ornaments and everything like that. Next up is the ribbon. So like I said, I took, let's see, probably 5 different rolls of ribbon. This is 3 of the 5 right here. This is a white fur ribbon. This one has the wire around the edge. The fur does not. This is just a kind of a sheer pink ribbon. So that's 3 different kinds there. And then I also used the other 2, a black and white striped and a hot pink. So I also cut these into strips. Instead of just taking the roll and wrapping the tree, I wanted a variety of bows and just little, I don't know what you call them, just fun little elements. And also some of them, if I didn't make it into some kind of like little bow, I just cut plain strips, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with those as well. For the sizes on these, I will show you what I did. Here I've laid out the assortment of bows that I made, and then also you can see all of the strips that I cut. So the strips are, I think some of them vary in length as well, but this one is about 28 inches long, and then all of the differing little bows that I made, like those, I think it's about 22-inch strips, and then I just kind of bunched them together, and I will place them randomly throughout the tree. So once again, there's really not a set length, but if you want them to be the same length as mine, like I said, they're about 22, 24, the strips are 28, but it's going to vary. If you want a longer kind of train on your bow, then make them a little bit longer. And I did that on some of these. Like I didn't want them all to be the same length. So you can see the pink is the shortest, the diamond, and then also another little tidbit is on my strips, you'll see what I'm going to do with them, but I just cut them straight across. These I made a little triangle, and that's because their ends are going to show where I place them on the tree. So that's just going to look a little bit better than a straight edge. That's just another, I mean, you don't have to do it, but I just thought it looked a little bit nicer, a little bit fancier than just cutting them straight across, since those edges are going to show. To give you an idea of what I'm talking about, I'm just going to take a couple of my bows, fluff them if they're from years past, and then it's so simple. You just literally place them randomly on the tree. This is a different bow. Get everything straight since it's been in a box for a year. And then just place it. With the strips, I just place them randomly throughout the tree as well. Just kind of throw it in there, making sure the edges aren't showing. With the striped, last year I wrapped the stripe around the hot pink. So just take one end, take the other. So these, I'll come in a little bit closer. You can see I did the fun triangle edging on this one. So I'm gonna pinch it right in the center, and let's see, just place it somewhere random. So then it kind of looks like you have a fun bow, but in reality it's just another strip. I'm going to continue placing the bows randomly throughout, and then it's time for the ornaments. Here she is, decked out in ribbon and in mesh. And I don't know, it went so fast, but I put out a ton of ribbon. So if you don't like yours is over the top, that's fine, but at least you can see the process of how I added strips, bows, mesh, and then also, like I said, those little pieces where they're not even a bow, but I just stuck them on a branch. They have the fun edge, and from a distance, it's like a little bow. After the mesh and the ribbon is up, I'll move on to the ornaments. Before I put the ornaments on, I go ahead and put the tree skirt around the tree because I'm done making a mess. The flocking that's gonna come off has already come off, and then for my breakable ornaments that I don't want to break, sometimes the tree skirt kind of catches them, so it's good for me to go ahead and put the tree skirt, so if I drop an ornament, hopefully it won't break. Put the tree skirt on, and then it's time for the ornaments, which, like I said, it's the icing on the cake. I pretty much got all of my ornaments from Hobby Lobby. These are big, that's a matte, shiny, glitter, same thing with that box. These have an assortment of sizes and colors, shapes. Also just like fun little picks to stick in the tree. Aren't those little elf feet cute? These either came from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. They're so cute. So basically I have an arrangement of things that stick on the tree. Little pick. It just adds dimension and fun little elements throughout the tree. One more thing before I put the ornaments on, I am going to place a few of these in the tree. They're called scentsicles. This scent that I like is called spiced pine cones, and I'll take one out so you can see. They're like little green sprigs. You put an ornament hook through the top, and they're green, so they match the color of your tree. But oh, that smells so good. So you just put them in your tree, and it's gonna make it smell like a real tree. And these are pretty strong, so I will probably only put 2 or 3 in this tree, and then I have a tree in the kitchen. I'll put 1 or 2 in because, like I said, they're strong. But if you want the smell of Christmas, they have them in different scents. So this is pine cone. I think there was a fir. I don't remember, but I saw these everywhere last year. Michael's, Hobby Lobby, At Home, Home Goods maybe even had them. Amazon has them. So they're not, well, $7.99, but I've used this same box now for, this is like my 3rd or 4th year to use these, and you can still see I've got a few left, so I'll probably have to get some new ones this year at the end of the season, but I've got enough to get me through this year. But if you like the smell of a real Christmas tree but don't have a real Christmas tree, I recommend these. we are finished. I'll show you a closer look at some of the ornaments. Like I said, different colors, different textures. Picks are also easy to add. Just place them in there. They're good fillers. Here are my elf feet. Those are fun. What else do I have that's interesting? Star. That's a different shape to add. Oh, another little pick. I love these. These are so pretty. They're girly. Girly antlers. I've got a few that are also gifts. A friend gave me this one, a girl with her dog. Another fun shape. And I didn't just buy all of these ornaments at once. I've literally just been kind of gathering them the past few years. So my sister gave me that one. That is hand painted. It's my house, actually. She gave me that for Christmas last year. So it's just over time. I've been using the pink theme for probably the past 5 years. So it's just over time I've just added different ornaments, and that's what makes it special. I mean, a lot of them are just store-bought, but a few of them are from friends, or I can remember the shopping trip with my mom that I bought them. So there you have it. And last year's blog post will still be up with all the details, and then I will be putting this year's video up as well.